Ortega connoisseur, Jake Bakoven.
I like Ortega, and I like pepper.
Coming at you live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This is On the Block with Strick and Bob. Hold up.
Happy Wednesday to everybody out there. This is On the Block here on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Jake Bakoven. He is the Husker Hall of Famer, longtime NBA vet Eric Strickland. And we do this every day for you for 2 hours here on 93.7 The Ticket's airwaves. You can also check us out on the Sartor Heyman Jewelers video stream on YouTube or Facebook or Twitch. We've got plenty of different ways for you to listen, get engaged. We'd like you to get engaged. Actually, for this first topic, I want to know you guys, as the spring game approaches here, the last practice today for Husker football before the spring game. What are your favorite memories from the spring game? And maybe it can be something, that you were in the stands for, or something, maybe even watched the spring game on TV. Can be more personal. It can be, something that we all kind of know. Just let us know. 402-464-5685. Your favorite spring game memories is what we're opening up here. But before we get to that, I did want to ask you this, Strick. Are you a big golf guy? I've just talked to Nate there. He's very excited for Tiger Woods to get back there on the Masters. Are you going to watch? I told him I'm just not. I'm not a big golf fan. I won't watch too much of it, even if Tiger's playing, to be honest. But I understand that different people, different strokes for different folks. Are you a big golf guy? Can you watch it on TV?
I can watch it. I don't think I can watch it each day. I kind of take peeks at it earlier in the rounds. Obviously you're talking about 4 to 5 hours of, well, probably more if you're watching it, because guys will tee off from the morning and then go to the early midday, afternoon, and then they're going to play 18 holes, so they can get pretty long. Whereas I love golf. I mean, me and my dad actually are going to be getting together this weekend. We're going to play around on Saturday. And so I enjoy golf. I enjoy watching it. I think I watch a little bit more. You get into the third and fourth rounds a little bit when you start to see things kind of coming together as to who's going to be fighting. And, you can kind of see who's losing it or who's coming on, or somebody can get hot and get 2-3 birdies in a row and kind of change the landscape of the where you are in your standings. So I think that's kind of where it becomes interesting to me. I kind of watch. I'm one of those golfers also, Bach, that is, I'm a golfer I can watch. So like, I didn't really early on when I learned the golf game, my father took me out there and I would just watch him watch golf, and I would watch what the players were doing. And I just was a duplicate guy. So that's kind of how I learned a lot of the different sports that I've been able to play. I just duplicated. I watch what they're doing. I watch their techniques. I watch, their swing mechanics. And I just kind of could go out there and duplicate it. And I think I finally took lessons, probably mid to late in my career playing in the NBA. I took some lessons, and really not to be able to play. I took them just to kind of work on technical things, just short game and just different areas of swing mechanics and grip strengths based on my swing. And so that's kind of how it is for me. I actually like to play. I get out there, have a cigar, and get out and play around and have some fun.
Do you consider yourself pretty good, or you do 18 holes, or you're a 9-hole guy?
Yeah, I'm an 18-hole guy. When I was in Dallas, we played with a group of guys. We called it the BGA, and we would get out and get with some guys. We'd play skin games, put some money in the pot, and you get a birdies or two, you may be able to win the hole and win a little bit of money. So it was pretty fun. I mean, we get out there, I think it'd be like me, Nick Van Exel, Michael Finley, some NFL guys would come out and play. One of the guys we had on the show, Eric Warfield, who played with Kansas City, he'd get out there with the group. And so sometimes we'd have some big groups, or sometimes we would have challenges. We'll get with Penny Hardaway's group out of Memphis, and we'll play them in a match play type of deal and see how that goes. And then sometimes we'll get with a group out of Houston and play with them and kind of travel and go around and play different games and competition. So it was pretty cool. It was pretty fun. Hadn't really had that out here. yet, but I still, they got great golf courses out here. And I live not too far from Bay Hill. So Bay Hill is a course that they play on the tour as well. And so actually Tiger actually lives on that. Well, he has a house. Let me just say, I don't know how much he's there, but he has a house. It's actually a pretty big house. When we get on the boat and ride on the lake, sometimes we'll ride by his house. And Shaq just sold his house out here, so it was.
Oh, did he?
Finally got it sold. It took forever. It's pretty tough when you got everything is Superman, and you got it's pretty tailored to you, so it's pretty tough to sell unless somebody is an absolutely
extra tall doorways and stuff like that probably going on for him. You wonder though. I wonder if the value goes up considering it was Shaq's house, but I guess not.
Actually, he sold it for way less than what he was offering for it. So it was. Yeah, I thought
maybe there would be maybe
some, even MJ when he sold his house in Chicago, it took a while. It took quite a while for him to sell. I mean, because on the gate you got 23, and then inside on the gym you've got all Jordan stuff, and you got to just be to love it, or because otherwise you're going to have to demolish everything and make it your own. So you got to really either be a big fan or you just normally most people take it at a loss. That's one of the reasons why I didn't just buy houses wherever I played, because you could be traded. And I've watched teammates actually buy these nice homes, these pretty immaculate homes, and then all of a sudden they get traded or they're no longer playing with the team, sign somewhere else, and the house stays on the market for quite a while, and you end up losing money. Maybe not losing, but you don't sell it for probably what you think the market value would be at.
Yeah, it's fascinating and kind of interesting, and probably something that people have wondered about before. From a lot of guys, jumping around from city to city, kind of what they do. But apartments then, or that the more?
No, what I would do is I would buy either a townhome or I would buy a nice condo, like really close to the arena. So it would be very enticing for a player that maybe was coming in. Like the one I had in Milwaukee was like blocks from the arena at the time, and you could literally just drive down the hill and be at the arena in 5-6 minutes. So I think I want to say Ruben Patterson ended up buying it from me when he came and played with Milwaukee. Same thing happened in Indiana where I had somebody kind of come in because it was pretty close to the downtown area. So that's the way I did it. So I could either move it or rent it out to him. A new player that was coming, so I took that stance once I got traded from Dallas. I did have a house in Dallas, but I ended up selling that one too.
Yeah, it's kind of cool to see behind the scenes of kind of the transactions in the NBA there. Do you have any favorite spring game memories that you can recall? Have you been to too many spring games?
I've been to a few. Obviously, while playing, you weren't able to go to many of them because we're still in season, so that was a lot of it. And then I went to a couple when I was living in town. But mostly it just seemed like I was always doing something. Even like right now, this weekend, my dad's coming in town. We were supposed to go and play in we're playing in a charity event this weekend. And so it just worked out. I happened to be in town the week before. And so schedule stuff ends up kind of throwing it. It's good though to get back to them sometimes because you get to catch up with old friends and old people you went to school with. And normally a great group of former players will come back in town. So it's a good time for everybody to kind of catch up and see how things are going with families and in life and just reconnect. So it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool time to be there.
Yeah, and again, we're asking for you guys' favorite memories here, 402-464-5685, to let us know there on the Starter Heyman text line, or you can call in Honda of Lincoln hotline, same number there, your favorite spring game memories. Jory says off the text line, Jack Hoffman. I mean, that's got to be one of
that was one of mine.
For everybody. Nearly a 69-yard touchdown run for Jack Hoffman. What a special moment that was. I was telling Rico, I think, earlier, for what I usually do, the spring game is like go, it's fun, kind of take my football fever and get that taken care of and go check out Memorial Stadium and just kind of go through the motions there. And then usually I'll leave mid third quarter or something. By then you just have all the fourth stringers in, and I don't know. Usually whoever I'm with at that time is less interested than I am, so it's like, all right, let's just go eat or go find something to do. I left right before the Jack Hoffman play, and so I missed a part of history there. A little bit frustrating. Yeah. So maybe I'll stay a little bit later and
see what happens.
Yeah.
I think the one for me was twofold. It was the welcome back for Bo Pelini. I think was pretty good. And I think it ended up almost having like 80,000 fans in attendance for that one. And in that one was kind of wild because Marlon Lucky was a phenomenal running back at the time, and everybody thought it was going to be his time. And then something emerged, just something happened, and by the end of the spring, you found out that Roy Halou Jr. was something special. And then you had a silent assassin just kind of sitting there, and no one really knew the impact that this man was going to have on Nebraska football at that time. And his name is Ndamukong Suh, and he didn't play in the game, and no one really knew. And then all of a sudden he emerges and becomes an Outland candidate. So it's he won so many awards, and the things that he did and the way he dominated in the championship game, and I think they came up a little short in that one, but you can see he was a dominant player, and he was going to be a phenomenal pro, and he ended up doing that. Had a great long career, still there, hanging on.
Yeah, hopefully there's some young and Ndamukong Suh types out there we don't know about. Some Roy Halous, even if it doesn't have to be maybe the greatest defensive lineman over the past 25 years. Maybe it can be just a great Roy Halous, some future NFL players that can help get Nebraska over the hump there. Again, off the text line, Drumstick says Bo carrying out a cat out of the tunnel was unexpected. So you have a few of those votes there. I thought that was a great one. Of course, that was after the faux Pelini joke from the internet, and just unexpected from Bo, who usually isn't much of a comical guy. And then I think in that same one,
was it one of those Siamese ones, the ones that are naked with no fur?
No, that would make more sense for Bo. That's more the evil cat, Dr. Evil's cat there. It was kind of cool. And then he did like these. I feel like he did. I can't remember exactly. Maybe someone can remind me. Him and Kenny Bell had like these competitions that they were doing like between quarter breaks. I thought that was good. I think they should bring that back for spring break or the spring football game, especially like. Can you imagine like a great quarterback competition, or just some type of a 40-yard dash even between your fastest players or something like that? I think that could kind of keep the entertainment up for what we know is a game that's has restrictions to it. We'll just say that. So I think that one's very interesting. Another one, just kind of looking back at them, is I think the 2005 game now would it be with Joe Daly, your quarterback the previous year coming in, and then that year by the end of it he was like running with the 3s or the 4s in the spring game. And basically just everybody had surpassed him on the quarterback list because remember, he was the option quarterback that Nebraska had recruited under Frank Solage. And then Bill Callahan just used him, just used the roster he had for that West Coast offense right away. And Zach Taylor was there and ended up being the starter. But I just can't imagine. It's almost hard to even imagine that in the spring game. A lot of times you're without too many storylines, but I think your previous starter the year before is now not even starting the game, running with the 3rd or 4th team. That would be pretty wild. And I remember it was quite crazy. And not soon after Joe Daly decided
to transfer. Out. Yeah. Broke camp.
So,
where did he go? To North Carolina or something like that?
Yeah.
North Carolina.
Yeah, and he's done all right there now. Or didn't do too great there, but now he's a successful coach in college football. So good for him. But and then the other one that I'll never forget and is the 2012 game where it was rained out. There's a lot of weather going on, and it was just like, it's just gonna. It was.
Everybody was running for the hills trying to get coverage.
Just as time's gone on, obviously, the shock of major events maybe would.
They got some free Valentinos, though.
Yeah, it fights a little the experience, I guess, to a degree. But for me, it was like, what are we going to do without a spring game in Nebraska? You can't just cancel it. You maybe postpone it or do something different. And, of course, they never did. We did. I did walk out of there with a couple of
Free pizza.
Valentino's pizza slices and runs us as well, because we waited. I believe there was the rain delay, and then you're just waiting there probably for I can't remember, like half an hour and maybe even longer. And then they just announced, hey, at least free food here, because what else are we going to do with it? So that was kind of interesting. And there's a lot of just fun games that go along with it. There's always moments. I remember the Jamal Turner front flip into the end zone will always be one of mine, because we expected so much out of him, and just to kind of break out in that mold at that time was like, man, is he? Because people would compare him to Deshaun Jackson. He had the number 10. He was a kind of a flashy wide receiver. Obviously, it didn't work out that way for him, but was kind of a fun moment of maybe this can happen next. Drumstick mentions, do you guys remember the spring game when Amir, Kenny Bell, and Tony Veland tried to hit the goalpost throwing it? Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. I was trying to remember what I can't remember. I feel like Bo was even involved in one of those competitions with Kenny Bell, but I think they need to do that sort of thing just to kind of get it more interesting, especially this year. It's gonna be interesting more than anything to see if they line up with tight ends, or how many defensive linemen are on each. What kind of different jerseys they're wearing. Ty Robinson spoke today and was saying they had like 7 guys. He feels like he's 35 years old after the spring run through, because he's just they've had to take so many reps. And I don't know how they're going to do it. They've talked about offense versus defense. They've done that in the past under previous staffs. I think that could be kind of cool and interesting. Patrick O'Brien at one time had an interception at the end of a game that swayed the offense versus defense score the previous time they did that. So that was kind of cool and a reason to stick around to the end. But if they do choose to do offense versus defense, would you like to see a balance there, or would you like to feel confident on one side or the other, Strick?
No, I think you'd want to see a balance of stops. You'd want to see a balance of breakthroughs. And if you do see breakthroughs, you'd like to see broken tackles maybe. You'd like to see maybe somebody catching a slant or something and just making a play and breaking out. I think you'd like to see it happen that way. I don't think you want to see a whole bunch of gashing, whether it be on the pass. You don't want to see a whole bunch of broken coverages. You don't want to see – you want to see just – some consistency. You would like to see some movement. You would also like to see some stops. You would like to see a good balance probably on both sides of the ball.
And something to watch out for too, as I know the quarterbacks will probably have the green jerseys on. They usually do every year throughout camp. You don't have any injuries there. I wonder if, I always thought if you're going for a sack, I mean, how big of a deal? I mean, you might get a little bit of credit for it, like getting there, right? But it's not going to really help you out that much. Instead of going for the sack, I'd always just go for the ball. Try to swipe at the ball and try not to touch the quarterback.
Well, the hurries matter. I mean, I think that's something that's missed out there, Bach, is that hurries mean something. You mess up the timing of a quarterback and create hurried situations. But then you also want to see, them get there. They're going to have to pull up some probably, but definitely get there, because there's going to be that tension in a quarterback, and the quarterback's got to either release the ball, find somebody, check down, do something in which they need to be able to make a play in a hurried situation. So you don't mind hurries. You definitely would love to see some tip balls and hands on balls, because it shows that the awareness from the defensive line, or maybe from the blitzing corner, or whatever the case may be. Definitely want to see some assignment ball and operating with in your lanes and getting stuff done. So those are the things you want to see, no doubt.
Yeah, and we might have a little bit more from the presser today. A couple guys spoke in front of the media, including Mickey Joseph, the wide receiver coach for Nebraska, also Travis Fisher, the secondary coach. So we might bring that up again later in the show, or maybe in the next stop when we talk to Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald. We'll catch up with Evan next here on The Block.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 330 North 48th Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
It's only a room with shelves and books, but it's far more magical than it looks. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. Instill a love of books and learning by reading to your children and grandchildren. Create a lifelong habit that leads to a successful future. I think that I shall never see a place that's more useful to me. Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
Join us on Saturday for our spring game tailgate show at Tipsy Tina's in the Haymarket. We'll be there from 10:30 to 1 as we preview the day ahead. It's the spring game tailgate show sponsored by Members-Owned Credit Union, A1 Automotive, and EP Foundation Repair from Tipsy Tina's at 8th and Q.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Another packed spring sports season means it's time to get to N Street Drive-In to fill up on all your beverage needs. Stop by for great deals as April's beers of the month are Deschutes Fresh Squeeze IPA, Wild Onion Ubi Goober Hazy Peach IPA, and Belching Beaver Brewing. Also, make sure to download the new N Street Drive-In app to order online and to set up delivery right to your front door. And don't forget their top-notch growler fill system. N Street Drive-In, your one-stop beverage stop at 1801 O Street. There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive Certified Piedmontese Beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Work, laundry, dishes. I was exhausted. I needed a vacation, but finding a way to pay for it, not so easy. Then I found it, a research study at Solarion. I searched the studies and found a perfect match for me. It was so easy. I earned cash for the study and booked that vacation. Plus, I made an impact on medical research. Find a study and sign up today at helpresearch.com.
You should consider the risks of the research before you agree to participate.
Are you tired of lousy internet and faceless customer service? It's time to experience local, honest, hassle-free, and exceptional. That's the Allo Promise. We not only provide crazy fast fiber internet, crystal clear TV, and dependable phone service, but we choose to become a part of the communities that we serve and love when everyone calls or stops by our store to say hello. So don't settle for mediocre, settle for exceptional with Allo. Visit us at allofiber.com/local.
Husker fans, don't miss your chance to get a first look at this year's Nebraska football team at Memorial Stadium. The annual Husker football red and white spring game is set for Saturday, April 9th at 1 p.m. Tickets are on sale now for only $10. To secure your tickets today or for more information, visit huskers.com/tickets or call 402-472-3111.
This is your High School Minute.
With your Southeast Community College High School Minute, I'm Harrison Arns. In boys soccer on Monday, Lincoln Pius X fell to Lincoln Southeast 3-1. Fremont's Leighton Jepson had 1 goal and 2 assists, and Braden Kramer had 2 goals. Lincoln Southwest shut out Fremont 4-0, and Waverly won over Norris 3-0. For the girls, Lincoln East dominated Grand Island 10-0. Lincoln Southwest shut out Fremont 6-0. They came out the gate strong, scoring 4 goals in the first half. And Norris beat Waverly 5-0. Kennedy Sullivan led the game with 2 goals.
In baseball, Lincoln Northeast lost to Kearney 10-7. Nolan Smith for Kearney went 3 for 4 at the plate with 4 RBIs. Cody Bruss had a good game from the mound with 8 strikeouts for the Rockets. Lincoln Christian won over Maxwell St. Pat's 9-0. Lincoln East just got past Fremont 1-0. Jalen Worthy had 11 strikeouts in the win. Ralston beat Lincoln Pike 10th 7-4. This has been your High School Minute, sponsored by Southeast Community College, with locations in Lincoln, Beatrice, and Milford. Learn more today at southeast.edu.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Bach on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back here on the block on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com as we're getting ready for the spring game, also the Masters. I mean, plenty going on this week as we welcome in Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald on the Honda of Lincoln hotline. Evan, how's your day going?
Hey, doing all right. You know, a little wind blown, I suppose, from the weather, but yeah, I can't complain.
Yeah, I mean, the weather is what it is, and hopefully it won't be like that for the spring game this weekend.
Or for golf.
Or for golf, yeah, that either. But how about the spring game this week? And we were just talking about our favorite spring game memories. If there is such a thing, is there a favorite spring game memory for Evan Bland?
I mean, how do you top the Team Jack moment? You know, last decade, right? I mean, with the run and the emotion of it, and what that started with the Team Jack Foundation. I think that's got to be number one for sure. Man, I don't even know what you put up against that, really. Like, a lot of it, the challenge every year is trying to kind of parse through what's real and what's not. And, you know, occasionally you have those moments where the spring game kind of gives you a clue of who or what Nebraska might look like in the fall. You know, a lot of times it doesn't. It's another workout, and you don't want to read too much into it. So, yeah, I suppose I would say the Team Jack thing, just because of how that's endured and how that's made a lasting impact on I think the fan base, but also just beyond that too, with their cause, ever since that day.
Yeah, I think the only competition for that is a coach holding a cat. So I think that probably is the clear winner at this point in time. As you look forward to the spring game, what is it that you're going to be looking the most closely at? Is it the quarterbacks?
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what that looks like, what Casey Thompson looks like slinging it around, what it could look like for Logan Smothers in a different sort of scheme. I'll be interested to see how much Nebraska puts out there, especially offensively. I was thinking of what Travis Vokalek, the tight end, said today. He said, essentially the coaches, if they wanted to show a whole bunch of new stuff, they could do that. I mean, they have a lot to choose from in terms of what they want to put out there. So, not that we're going to see any kind of exotic pass plays or anything like that, but I'm curious to see, what does it look like when they run the ball? What's a base run look like in this sort of Mark Whipple, Scott Frost blend going forward? Because again, typically by this point in the spring, we would have at least had the chance to see parts of a practice or two, and that just hasn't been the case this year. They're keeping things under wraps with all the changes that are going on. So, to this point, it's been conversations about the offensive line, the defensive line, the skill positions, all based on what we hear from players and coaches. And so this will be that one chance before Ireland probably to lay eyes on things ourselves. And if it's not just the scheme, how about just physically? How does a guy like Anthony Grant look when he's got the football? How does a guy like Trey Palmer look from a speed perspective compared to the DB? So all that kind of stuff, we're going to just have to try to soak up and kind of download in those 2 hours and maybe use that for months to come. But I think that's a lot of it is just sort of reconciling what we've heard to this point with what our eyes show us on Saturday.
Yeah, that'll be interesting, especially I think they're in the secondary too, because they kind of talked today. Do you expect to see newcomers Tommy Hill and Deshaun Singleton start out there for Nebraska next year?
I don't know. That'll be interesting to see how that shakes out. I mean, I think you feel pretty confident that Quentin Newsom's going to be on that one side. Miles Farmer's been somebody that Travis Fisher and those coaches have liked for a long time. And, I think Marquise Buford's another guy who made some major strides this spring. He looks the part. He sounds like the part. So whether that's him, whether that's Deshaun Singleton at that other safety spot, I think they have some good options there. And then, yeah, I mean, on the other side, it'll be interesting to see kind of how that shakes out too. I mean, Braxton Clark was somebody that I know the coaches are looking forward to seeing what they can do. We didn't see a lot from Omar Brown. I think he's another guy that we kind of forget about. He was that big late transfer from Northern Iowa who's been on the shelf a bit with some injuries. So I don't know that we're going to see him. I'm not sure if we will see him Saturday or not, but he's somebody who is definitely going to be in the mix moving forward. But, Tommy Hill for sure has had a big, strong spring. I enjoyed chatting with him earlier this week. I mean, this is a guy who just oozes confidence, somebody who, you can just tell he has a lot of confidence in his ability, and you want that at a corner spot. I don't know that Nebraska's had that at every position on its defense in years past, and he's got the frame and the playmaking track record in his short college career to back that up too. So I think, it's probably a good problem that you can't really pick out 4 guys right now to be your starters in the secondary, just because there are probably 5 or 6 that still are deserving of some long looks.
Yeah. Evan, we know that Brian Applewhite has kind of been alluding to he would love to see a strong rotation of guys. We know that some are emerging and just kind of making it known as to their presence. But ultimately, do you think that they could have a 4 or 5 man rotation early on just to kind of see and give everybody a good look? Because he really just stated that he would love to have a big rotation of guys and not necessarily a 2 or 3 man with a bell cow type of running back. Do you foresee that being a possibility of being able to happen, or do you think that just there will be frustration in that?
Well, I do think there will be a committee of sorts. I mean, it's been this way for a number of years now, where it's kind of interesting because the last few years, Nebraska has said overtly, they've said, we want one guy to take the job and run with it. And it really hasn't happened. And so they've sort of cycled through guys, and there have been injuries like Gabe Irvin last year. And they just haven't found a lot of traction at that position under Scott Frost, other than maybe Devine Zigbo back in 2018. So I think, the path to successfully having a committee this year would probably just be the fact that these backs do have different skill sets, right? I mean, Jacquez Yant is a big, bruising, physical back who you feel pretty good about kind of busting up the middle. Anthony Grant, by all accounts, is more of a shifty, speedy kind of guy. And then Ramir Johnson has that straight line speed. He's probably the best pass catcher of the group too. So, I think those 3 guys have pretty different skill sets. Gabe Irvin will be back at some point, you would think, next season, after he had a pretty strong start to his freshman career. And then I don't think you can forget, I mean, they're going to have 2 incoming freshmen here that are going to arrive this summer, in Emmett Johnson and A.J. Allen, who was a really touted recruit who flipped from Georgia Tech late in the cycle. And as you guys know, I mean, college football, if there's ever a position where someone can sort of jump onto the scene and break out right away, it's at a skill position like running back. So I think those guys will probably be some factors as well, but it does seem like the abilities are diverse enough in that room that you can feel pretty good about using a lot of different guys in different situations.
Do you have any I guess even feeling for this? It's kind of weird that Nebraska's spring game, usually, you can get up to 80,000 people. Of course, this is all pre-pandemic. Now they're saying they have I think 46,000 season or spring game tickets sold. You can expect a nice sizable walk-in crowd there too, but not going to be the normal level for the spring game. Do you think that that's has to do with the pandemic and everything that kind of goes along with that, or do you think that maybe 5 years of losing is starting to weigh on some Husker fans and their excitement level for the football team?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, you typically see your biggest spring game crowds when there is a coaching change, right, or maybe a headliner sort of person that you want to see, and I guess what that number would tell me, at least, is that the staff changes that they've made under Frost, while interesting, aren't maybe drastic to the point that they're going to draw 70 or 80,000 the way Nebraska has in the past. I mean, I still think, like you alluded to, that they can still get a pretty good walk-up crowd that day if the weather turns out to be good. I think the interest is high enough, especially on offense, with what this team can look like. People want to see what Casey Thompson can do, especially after 4 years where you have the same quarterback. I mean, I think you can't really overstate what that's going to be like, just to see, you know, how somebody reads the field and how quick the release is and things like that. But we are certainly to the point, especially coming off a 3-9 season, and it's been, you know, 5 straight bowlless seasons for Nebraska. We're to that point where really no matter what they do on Saturday, it's still going to be all about the fall. It's still going to be about, have they taken that step forward to, at the very least, bowl eligibility, found a way to close out some of these close losses that have hounded them the last few years. And if they can't do that, then you know, whatever happens in the spring game is pretty irrelevant. So I think there's sort of this guarded optimism in the fan base. There's some curiosity, but there's certainly not that unbridled enthusiasm, you know, that would come with maybe a winning season. So I think people understand really it's all about the fall, and there's some curiosity, and that's maybe why it's down a little bit.
And also wanted to jump in and ask you about baseball. Of course, baseball got back on track, sweeping Ohio State over the weekend. They've got their 3rd game of the year of 4, I believe, against Omaha. That's tonight, by the way, in Omaha. What did they do over the weekend that was kind of different in leading to those victories, or was there something different?
Well, I mean, it's the offense. That's the thing that's been holding them back for a lot of the year. You know, the pitching, I would say, has been good enough. For the most part. The defense has been a little shaky, but I would also say that's been an asset more than it has not been. But the offense has just been frustrating. I mean, they had not been able to find clutch hits a lot of the year. The power's down, the speed is down, the on base is down, and you know, against an Ohio State team that by you know, I think it's fair to say it's not a good Ohio State team, but Nebraska did what it has to do. And you look around the league, and there all the time you see bad teams take a game from a good team, and to sweep the way Nebraska did on the road, that's extremely valuable when you talk about the league standings. The offense did come to life, especially in those last 2 games. 27 runs scored combined in those last 2. A lot of clutch hits, a little bit of power. And I think Nebraska too is still sort of figuring out the bottom part of its lineup, where they felt pretty good about maybe the top 5, but I think a couple other guys over the weekend, especially late, maybe established themselves as more regulars. I mean, we saw Luke Sartori, the center fielder, hit a grand slam. Nick Wimmers is an interesting guy. He has been sort of the number 3 catcher, but they found a spot for him as a designated hitter and as a left-handed bat that they don't have a ton of. And so we'll see if that sticks, but it does seem like maybe they're starting to figure out roles and figure out a little more continuity offensively. And if that can carry over, you know, at the very least, that's going to make for an interesting Big Ten race and keep Nebraska in that postseason hunt down the stretch.
And they do have a weekend series coming up with Rutgers too here at Hawks Field at Haymarket Park, including Sunday is bring Bark at the Park. You can bring your dog. Are you planning on bringing your dog? Do you have a dog, Evan?
I don't have a dog, but, you know, I enjoy other people's dogs. And so there are going to be a lot of good boys and a lot of good girls out there.
Yeah.
And, hopefully the weather's good. Hopefully people bring their pooper scoopers so the berms don't become hazardous. But, no, it's always a fun tradition. It's going to be a fun weekend, right? A lot of people are going to be back for the spring game. And typically that does spill over into the baseball side of things with some of their bigger crowds of the year. So Rutgers is tied for first in the Big Ten. Should be a fun series. It's a meaningful series, and you know, you have a few 4-legged fans in the crowd too. That can't hurt.
Yeah, that should be fun. He's Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald. Evan, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks as always, guys.
All right, there he goes. Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald. Strick, do you have a dog?
I used to. His name was Wilfred. I had, well, actually 2. I got suckered into 2 dogs.
Yeah, that happens.
So I got suckered into 2 dogs. Yeah, my stepson Dion Jr. was. He suckered me, and then my wife at the time suckered me into the second one. So and we became one of them ones where they were like family.
Yeah. It's always fun to have the dog. I almost want to go just to see how it plays out, because I wonder how many fans do bring their dogs in, and usually, everybody can get along, but you never know what can happen there. Dogs are, I always say this about dogs, they're like 95% of the time they're cute, they're cuddly, they're just a lot of fun, and then 5% of the time you're like, why would you do something like that? Dogs can always remind you that they are filthy animals at times. They do that sort of thing once in a while. Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, it'll be time for Shootout with Strick. Your chance to win $15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. Call right now, 402-464-5685 on the Honda of Lincoln hotline. The first one to do so will have the chance today. We are doing a little bit of Masters trivia on Shootout with Strick. So study up on your golf, and give us a call, 402-464-5685. Your chance to win some chicken. Coming up next here on The Block.
Maximize your savings with Bryant. Bryant offers efficient heating and cooling system options to help you save on your monthly utility bill. If you act now, their team will secure all available rebates to maximize your savings. Hurry, these rebates are for a limited time only. Call Bryant. Ask for a free estimate to save and improve your comfort. 467-1111. Online at BryantLincoln.com. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock, or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 330 North 48th Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi, this is Kurt, your shop manager at A1 Automotive here in downtown Lincoln. My promise to you is this: you won't find another automotive repair facility that genuinely cares about you and your vehicle. Our service is outstanding and our customer service is better. Please give me a call for all your automotive repair questions and needs. Call me at 402-477-4660. We were built on small town values, and that shows in how we treat others. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Wedding season is underway. Stop wearing your fading, wrinkling shirts and update your wardrobe today at M Suits Clothiers in Lincoln. M Suits has men's clothing for every occasion, from business to leisure to weddings and formals. And they've been chosen by Lincoln as best of men's clothing for 4 years running. The buying process is quick and easy with personal service that's hard to find. And they're family owned, where you are also treated like a part of the family. M Suits Clothiers, just south of 56th and Pine Lake on Red Rock Lane.
Fruitcakes are just for Christmas, right? Gosh, I feel sorry for you. I mean, what if we had done that with bacon? Bacon is only for breakfast. We'd never have bacon cheeseburgers. We'd never be able to save a salad by adding bacon bits. We'd never have Brinner. That's breakfast for dinner. Don't limit yourself. Fruitcakes for St. Patrick's Day. Fruitcakes for graduation. Fruitcakes for Thursday. Beatrice Bakery and Grandma's Fruitcakes are perfect for every occasion. Check them out in downtown Beatrice or online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Another packed spring sports season means it's time to get to N Street Drive-In to fill up on all your beverage needs. Stop by for great deals as April's beers of the month are Deschutes Fresh Squeeze IPA, Wild Onion Ubi Goober Hazy Peach IPA, and Belching Beaver Brewing. Also, make sure to download the new N Street Drive-In app to order online and to set up delivery right to your front door. And don't forget their top-notch growler fill system. N Street Drive-In, your one-stop beverage stop at 1801 O Street.
Hey guys, it's Jake Sorensen from Early Break. I've got my friend Alex from Ageless Men's Health here. I went to high school with Alex, and he was also in the Marine Corps. Alex, take it away.
Thanks, Jake. Guys, we know there's a lot of testosterone companies out there, but Ageless Men's Health is different. Our personalized approach looks at the whole body, not just the numbers. Ageless only employs registered nurses and nurse practitioners to handle your care. And at Ageless, we listen to what you have to say. We invite you to check us out at agelessmenshealth.com or check us out on Google and our 100+ 5-star reviews. Ageless Men's Health, 34th and Oak Cheney.
If you're struggling to get motivated to work out, you're not alone, and Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping is here to help. Build muscle, burn fat, and lose weight with Farrell's 10-week challenge starting April 9th, all for a chance to win $1,000. Farrell's combines kickboxing with strength training and nutrition companions to help you stay on track. Go to fxblincoln.com to sign up today. It's the Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping 10-week challenge starting April 9th with 3 locations.
It's time to play Shootout with Strick. Call now 464-5685 to take your shot against Eric Strickland. Shootout with Strick. Brought to you by Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Time to play the game!
It is time for Shootout with Strick here on the block. Your chance to win $15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. Call right now, 402-464-5685 on the Honda of Lincoln hotline. The first to do so will get their chance to win this game, to beat Strick in a shootout and to take home $15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. Again, call right now, 402-464-5685 as we are looking for a contestant. And today's game, and don't let it scare you if you don't know much about it. It's most of the questions are either or, so I mean you can't be too wrong, and you have a 50% chance of getting it right. Of course, in the style of a 3-point shootout, we do have a money ball worth 2 points there at the end, which is open-ended. But you can even.
And I'm hot right now. I'm hot.
Yeah, Strick's been winning lately too, so we want somebody to knock him off. Call right now, 402-464-5685. If nobody calls, we're just gonna have Nate compete, and Nate already knows.
But listen, though, no, from now on, man, before this comes on or right after or something, you got to play that song. Doom, do, do, doom, doom. The champ is here. Doom, do, do, doom, doom. The champ is here. They don't want to see the champ. They're running. It's
got to get at least 5 wins in a row for that, maybe.
I'm hot, baby.
Let's go to Jay on the Honda of Lincoln hotline. Jay, how are you doing today?
Hey, good. How you guys doing? Toyos.
Yeah, that's right. Hartford and all that. Very excited for the opportunity here. Jay, do you know a lot about the Masters? Are you a big golf fan?
I'm a golf fan. I don't know if I know a lot about the Masters, but
yeah. Well, either way, this will give you at least a shot here, as Strick has been paying attention to golf a little bit as well over the years. We'll get Strick's score first, and we'll head over to Jay and see if he can top it. Strick, are you ready to go?
Let's go.
All right, we will go in 3, 2, and 1. What day of the week is the Masters dinner held for past winners? Tuesday or Wednesday?
Wednesday.
It's actually Tuesday. Who has won the Masters the most times? Jack Nicklaus or Tiger Woods?
Tiger Woods.
It's actually Nicklaus. Who has made the most appearances at the Masters? Arnold Palmer or Gary Player?
Player.
It was Player. Who's the oldest Masters champion? Sam Snead or Jack Nicklaus?
Snead.
It's actually Nicklaus. And what color jacket is given to the winner of the Masters?
Green.
That is right. So you've total 3 points there. I think it's similar to your score yesterday, and you can do it well before the buzzer there. So 3 points is all you have to beat here, Jay. Are you ready to go?
You bet.
All right. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Who is the defending Masters champion? Justin Thomas or Hideki Matsuyama?
Thomas.
That is wrong. Who is the Masters youngest champion? Jordan Spieth or Tiger Woods?
Tiger Woods.
That is correct. This player has the tournament record score at 20 under par. Dustin Johnson or Phil Mickelson?
Johnson.
That is correct. True or false, the Masters is historically the first major championship played during the year?
True.
That is true. And what state is the Masters played in for the win?
Georgia.
It is Georgia. Congratulations on your victory, and did it well before the time. We don't even have to play the buzzer there. 5 points beats Strix 3. Congratulations on your victory. You've earned yourself $15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Boom shakalaka!
I said, give me a hell yeah.
There he goes, and we even got the boom shakalaka for him. So thanks for calling in and thanks for playing today. Congratulations on your victory, Jay. One more thing, you can either take the high road or talk trash.
Talk trash.
It's up to you.
Oh, I'll talk trash. How much did he get? 2?
3 points.
Or 3?
He got 3 points.
Oh, he got 3 because he got the easy one, the green jacket. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there you go. There you go. That's what we like to hear.
Oh,
Jay walked away the winner. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Jay, on the victory. And yeah, now we can't play that champ is here thing for you straight. Sorry. Maybe next time. I think maybe if you get, we should do that, like kind of an on fire thing. If you get three in a row, maybe we'll start to do
3 in a row. That would have been 3 in a row.
I'm saying, 3 games in a row. Yeah.
Oh,
then you would have been on.
I thought it would have been 4 in a week.
4 in a week, 4 to 5. That's a pretty difficult to do. But hey, if you're pretty confident about it,
4 in a week, 4 in a week, or 3 in a row.
Either one, yeah. How about either or? How many? Here's the tiebreaker in case it would have went there. How many Masters championships has Tiger won?
4.
Oh, very close. 5. He did.
I was about go with your first gut streak. I was gonna say 5.
So close. He did win that one in 2019, which was very surprising and one of the coolest moments in golf over the last several years. So that was pretty cool. I also wanted to get to this before we get to break. It's very. I mean, I don't even know how to approach this. Selena Gomez basically has claimed that she has not been on the internet in 4.5 years. Do you believe her? Do you think that's even possible these days?
Stop it. Now, and she's been with Justin Bieber, and yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know,
and she posts Instagram posts. How have you not been on the internet?
Exactly. Stop it. You can't tell me your assistant is posting for you. Stop.
Yeah, she's just, and she's talked about, it's a toxic place. You can, you obviously can get down some rabbit holes on the internet. Did you ever try to stay LeBron? Like for LeBron, I think he stays, well, it won't be this year, but usually he stays off social media for the playoffs. Did you ever try to avoid that back in your playing days? Certainly social media wasn't as big.
Exactly. It didn't pop off until right after I retired. And I was like, yes. and so I'm really not a big social media guy. I mean, I play on there just because for what I do, I have to. But I go in waves. Like I'll hit it and then I'll be off for a while, and then I'll hit it and then I'll kind of back off for a little bit. So I'm kind of like a roller coaster. I'm up and down on it.
How about the press clippings and the just the reporters? Did you ever try to stay away from reading those during your playing days, or was it kind of interesting, or didn't really bother you, or really any of those things?
I read it periodically. I wasn't very big on it. I did look at different things at times. I think I had my mother and my family were just really big at tracking that stuff, and then my mom's probably got shoes and clippings and all kinds of stuff from the past that she'll shoot to me every now and then. But yeah, I wasn't too big on it, but I did look at it. I mean, it wasn't like I'm not sitting here acting like I was oblivious to it. I did. I popped on there.
Mm-hmm.
See what they were talking about.
It's always fun to kind of think about it because, and everybody's got their different strategies. And then you see, Kevin Durant tweeting from, his fake account, and he got popped for it. So it's kind of funny to see the different strategies that players take. And you wonder if they're listening to the radio station or if they're reading the press clippings, especially after negative performances. I would think, it would be kind of.
It was driving for me. It was driving.
Yeah.
Like if you had like a tough game, a bad game or whatever, I would look and see what people were saying. And it kind of gave me a little extra oomph to get in on the next one and do something or make a play or do something big. Yeah.
That's interesting. Because I would think I would just, if I had a bad game, I'd be like, I'm not going to read anything. If I had a good game, I'd read what everybody said. But,
there's some people that had it out for you a little bit,
Oh, I know. Yeah.
I mean, so, at that point, you really try to stick it to them, or you don't really talk to them as much. You don't give them no fodder, definitely, because sometimes when they're coming at you, they're searching for some fodder to kind of throw out there. I actually had an instance where a writer basically parsed my words. This is why I've become. I'm not skeptical. I listen to news, but I'm kind of like hesitant to take it all at face value. I kind of search and maybe go and delve somewhere else and check into it, because he literally parsed my words. There were some things I said, but he took it out of context, and it caused some conflict between me and Don Nelson. And I had to meet with Don, and I went and sat down with him. I said, Don, I didn't say that. That's not how I said it. And I told him how I said it. And it really upset him, and he kind of went at the guys about that stuff. And me and him I think that was probably a moment where we became closer, because that wasn't what I was saying, or it was totally out of context as to how I was saying it. But it can cause conflict. It can cause conflict amongst teammates. It can cause conflict in your locker room, between you and your coach. So you got to be careful about that, and who you talk to and what you share with them on or off record.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see if that does play out, or I like, for the most part, people try to like hide it, like they're not looking at it, and then like I love like Kevin Durant getting busted. You're like, oh, that's KD's other account, I suppose. But I thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, I mean, especially with social media, I can't even imagine. And this is always your reminder: don't tweet, especially with the spring game. I can't imagine anybody would, but don't tweet at college kids the negative things. That if you see somebody drop a ball or something, let it go. It's all okay. And they know that's not what they were supposed to do there. We'll take a quick break here on the block. When we come back, let's talk a little bit about the wide receivers in the NFL. Big day for Stephon Diggs as he secures the bag. DK Metcalf and A.J. Brown possibly available as well. We'll also talk some Husker football. It's coming up next here on the block.
This is your High School Minute.
With your Southeast Community College High School Minute, I'm Harrison Arns. In boys soccer on Monday, Lincoln Pius X fell to Lincoln Southeast 3-1. Fremont's Leighton Jepson had 1 goal and 2 assists, and Braden Kramer had 2 goals. Lincoln Southwest shut out Fremont 4-0, and Waverly won over Norris 3-0. For the girls, Lincoln East dominated Grand Island 10-0. Lincoln Southwest shut out Fremont 6-0. They came out the gate strong, scoring 4 goals in the first half. And Norris beat Waverly 5-0. Kennedy Sullivan led the game with 2 goals. In baseball, Lincoln Northeast lost to Kearney 10-7. Nolan Smith for Kearney went 3 for 4 at the plate with 4 RBIs. Cody Bruss had a good game from the mound with 8 strikeouts for the Rockets. Lincoln Christian won over Maxwell St. Pat's 9-0. Lincoln East just got past Fremont 1-0. Jalen Worthy had 11 strikeouts in the win. Ralston beat Lincoln Pius X 7-4. This has been your High School Minute, sponsored by Southeast Community College, with locations in Lincoln, Beatrice, and Milford. Learn more today at southeast.edu.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Windy conditions anticipated here for our Wednesday. We'll top out near 55. A wind advisory in effect as northwest winds could gust near 50 miles per hour. 36 the low tonight. 49 the high tomorrow. Still windy, and even a chance of rain mixing with snow during the day. That's a check of your forecast. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air.
When it comes to your home or business, we know you have options, and that's why John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning gives you just that. Options. We have plumbing, heating, and cooling memberships to serve all of your residential and commercial needs. We want to ensure you, your family, and your business are safe. Visit our website, jhlincoln.com, to find out more or call us at
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air.
The captain, Vershawn Jackson.
Adversity introduces a man or a woman to themselves. It's easy to say, oh, have a great day when things are good. But when life happens, as we all know, adversity hits, that's when we find out who we are. It's okay to be not okay.
Sometimes we can't see the help that's there because of whatever issue.
There's athletes that are talking about mental health and just well-being and burnout right now, because in the past 2 years, if COVID has showed us anything, it showed us the importance for connection.
Weekdays from 11 to 2 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, sports fans. Rico here with HIS Auto Care 70th and Van Dorn. Carfax recently awarded us as a top-rated auto service center for 2020, and Lincoln Choice Awards voted us as the 2021 top independent auto repair center. Call us at 402-488-8934 for superior service bumper to bumper. Mention this ad and get 7% off. Doesn't get any better than that. Rico for His Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Fruitcakes are just for Christmas, right? Gosh, I feel sorry for you. I mean, what if we had done that with bacon? Bacon is only for breakfast. We'd never have bacon cheeseburgers. We'd never be able to save a salad by adding bacon bits. We'd never have Brinner. That's breakfast for dinner. Don't limit yourself. Fruitcakes for St. Patrick's Day. Fruitcakes for graduation. Fruitcakes for Thursday. Beatrice Bakery and Grandma's Fruitcakes are perfect for every occasion. Check them out in downtown Beatrice or online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Another packed spring sports season means it's time to get to N Street Drive-In to fill up on all your beverage needs. Stop by for great deals as April's beers of the month are Deschutes Fresh Squeeze IPA, Wild Onion Ubi Goober Hazy Peach IPA, and Belching Beaver Brewing. Also, make sure to download the new N Street Drive-In app to order online and to set up delivery right to your front door. And don't forget their top-notch growler fill system. N Street Drive-In, your one-stop beverage stop at 1801 O Street.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is On the Block with Strick and Bach. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for 3. And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
93.7 The Ticket veteran and Bill Callahan fan club president, Jake Bakoven.
I love Billy.
Coming at you live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This is On the Block with Strick and Bach. Hold up.
We're back on the block for the second hour. Once again, we appreciate all of your support. We thank Sutter Heyman Jewelers for the video stream and their support. Also for the Mercado Certified Piedmontese. We had a great time, Bach. I think we had a wonderful time doing the show one day that I happened to be in town. I think it was last Friday at Certified Piedmontese, the Mercado. Got the chance to shake some hands and look at some great meat and taste some great jerky and all of those wonderful things. We thank them for their support as well. You can always find us on the block at 4 to 6 Central Standard Time. I have to say that because I'm in Florida, so I'm an hour ahead of you. So there's been a lot going on in the NFL, a lot of exchanging, a lot of trades and crazy stuff has just really been happening. But one of the unique things that's been happening in the NFL right now is that the wide receiver, the skill position, has been creeping up quite crazily onto quarterback range. It's one of those things that you just normally don't find. I mean, especially securing long years and a lot of years and a lot of guaranteed money. And Stephon Diggs is the latest one of the wide receivers to find his way of getting the big bag. Stephon Diggs just signed a deal with the Buffalo Bills. I love this story because Stephon Diggs, kind of a smaller range guy, had a great tenure up there with the Minnesota Vikings, crossed over and went to the Bills, happened to get one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL right now in Allen to be able to throw the ball. And he's one of those over-the-top guys, similar to Tyreek Hill and the likes of them, to be able to get over the top of you, runs great routes. He just secured a deal, reached an agreement for a 4-year extension at $104 million to include $70 million of that guaranteed. This will put him at 6 more years, and he will not be a free agent again, unrestricted free agent until 2028. So he's there for the long haul. He'll probably retire or a Buffalo Bill. That'll put him at $121 million for the long haul. And that's a tremendous deal, being that there's other receivers still yet to receive extensions. We're going to get into it as well in this segment, where we're going to try to rank or what the pundits are saying and the writers are saying about the ranks of these. But those still out there, young receivers across the league, Deebo Samuel still out there for the 49ers, DK Metcalf and AJ Brown are some of the others that are talking about. And the story out there right now is, are the Titans going to keep AJ Brown? What are they going to do? Are they going to blow it up out there, being that the quarterback that DK Metcalf has had out there and Russell Wilson has now moved on? And so he's with Denver now. And so therefore, are they going to blow it up? They're not going to have the money. Do you pay DK Metcalf to stay and just trudge along and just hope to barely make the playoffs, or do you blow it up and get some trade value out of them? And then there's also Terry McLaurin. So there's some other guys out there that are looking, that feel probably that they're a little bit better and maybe even ranked higher than Stephon Diggs, and he secures the big bag. So they're going to be looking for the big money. So how do you view, first of all, the big bag that he just received, and also looking at what's still out there for some of the other receivers?
Well, like you said, I like his story because and not just the Minnesota thing, but the fact that he was, we watched him here in the Big Ten with Maryland for a few years, and he slipped all the way to the 5th round. So not much was expected out of him going to the pros, but he's turned around to have one of the best, young receivers. Now, I suppose, let's see how old he is now. I think he's like 28, so he's still relatively young, but I guess in NFL years, kind of middle-aged, I suppose, but still one of the better young receivers in the game. I think it's kind of cool. It might be a bit of a changing of the guard when you look at the fact in the AFC there, Patrick Mahomes loses his main primary wide receiver. Of course, still has Travis Kelce there, so you could argue that he still has that that go-to option. But certainly for the Bills, they look like they're here to stay for quite some time under Josh Allen, and Stephon Diggs is going to be his first main weapon for a large portion of his career. So I'm excited to see it. The Bills are an interesting franchise to kind of follow along. The Bills Mafia, they've got quite a fan base following there. It's a cold weather city, so sometimes I can understand. I can feel bad for them at times or relate to them being here in Nebraska. And I just think it's cool. It's something's kind of changed in my mind over the years too. Is that I thought wide receivers, before the last couple of years, were great for fantasy football, very entertaining, not great for winning games, unless you have a guy that can absolutely change the game and lead you to the Super Bowl, maybe like a Julio Jones.
Yeah.
Unless you've got like that top guy, it's not going to happen. And now we're kind of seeing, the more the offense is open up, the more, it's become a passing league, the more these wide receivers are factoring in the bottom line, the wins and the losses, and, not just kind of having fun out there. And I think Cooper Kupp really, if we do the rankings, I'll have to put him first. I know that other defensive backs who've played against him might say he's not the most difficult to cover as opposed to some of these other guys, and they're phenomenal. But when a guy, leads the league in reception yards, receiving and receiving receptions, I should say, and touchdowns, and then leads his team to the Super Bowl as a Super Bowl MVP, all that sort of stuff. It was really one of the greatest receiving years of all time. So coming off of that, I think a lot of these franchises are kind of maybe changing their mind as well, is that, maybe you should put a lot of money in your receiving core and not just kind of facilitate young guys in here and out, over the years. Maybe if you've got something, lock them in. And that's what the Bills are doing here.
Yeah, that's definitely what they're trying to do. And that leaves, and Stephon Diggs is not a very big guy. I think he's a guy that really he runs great routes. He's able to secure catches in traffic, and he definitely threatens you over the top. So it works out for him, being that he's got a quarterback that could drop it in on a dime for you. But looking at DK Metcalf and AJ Brown, they're very big, strong burly type receivers. But DK Metcalf shows he's got speed. You remember when the interception was thrown in the game, and he literally 10-yard hawked the cornerback. Just so he's not just a big guy. I think he runs maybe a 4.3 if I remember correctly. So the cat can get up and get out there a little bit. And so those are very big, strong receivers that are still out there. And while we're on the topic, let's go ahead and jump into how you view your rankings, and then I'll talk about some of mine, and we'll dig into some of that.
Yeah, I mean there's a lot of good weapons out there at wide receiver. So when I look at AJ Brown, I look at DK Metcalf, both of them, by the way, they came from their same recruiting or same school. They come from Ole Miss. I mean, that was a heck of a receiving core they had down there in Oxford. But I think there's still some proving left to be done. Now, that on the other side of that, they're going into their last year of their rookie contracts. That's kind of why the idea is out there that maybe these teams might want to move off of them, or if there was a time to go out and get them, you'd have to pay a lot of money after this year, but maybe you could rent them, or maybe you would just get them and sign them to a big contract. But I don't know if I see them as quite top tier wide receivers across the NFL quite yet. They've both had their moments. They've both been to Pro Bowls, and I think DK Metcalf was even the second team All-Pro the year before this past season. But it's just there's so many weapons in the NFL that I would say they're there, and the reason why that people would be very excited for them is obviously the potential, because maybe you don't see them quite as the top tier right now, but they certainly have the potential and would be better than not projections to get there. But I still would probably put them in the second or third tier of the wide receivers in the NFL right now. Like I said, I'd have to put Cooper Kupp at the top.
Okay. Well, for me, I think at this point, even in aging as he is, he's getting up there. But I still think Devonte Adams is probably right now the best receiver for me out there. One of the things that he's underrated in some areas, he's very reliable, especially when he's targeted, right? As a wide receiver, he's hauled in 96% of his catchable targets this season, which is second highest amongst players with at least 100 targets. So I think that's a valuable asset to me, meaning that when the quarterback looks his way, you can pretty much guarantee it's going to result in something, some form of success. Second, I probably would look at Cooper Kupp. I think you're right. I think you have a lot to say with that, being that Cooper Kupp's, he's had 33 explosive receptions of 15 or more yards from the slot, and then 14 or more from than any other wide receiver in the season. So that's a valuable asset, meaning that when you looked at him in the playoffs and in the Super Bowl, it was like when it got time to crunch time, that's where they went. It was like, we're going to Cooper. He's going to get it done for us. And as you know, he got it done. I think then I would look at maybe like Deebo Samuels, just because Deebo Samuels is so versatile, right? He is the biggest after catch threat, I think, in the NFL. I think being that he's leading after catch at 10 yards after catch per reception. That's crazy. That means if he catches the ball in a slant or a short dig or just a little crossing route, he's getting you 10 yards when he touches the ball. So he also ranks third in percentage of his targets. And then that results in 15 plus yards at 31%. So that means he's getting it done. He's got broken tackles. I love that about him. A surprising one I think would throw at me is maybe Justin Jefferson with the Minnesota Vikings. And then, say what you will, but Jamar Chase, I think, is a top 5 receiver right now. I know it's early for him. I know it's still some time, but I still think he's a top 5 wide receiver. And I think that's only going to get better from him. I probably have Stephon Diggs and CeeDee Lamb kind of around those same positions. I like his broken tackle numbers with CeeDee Lamb. He has the 4th best receiving grade and the 9th most yards per route. I think that's phenomenal for him. He's going to be more of the eyes are going to be more on him, being that he was like the 2nd or 3rd guy there with Amari Cooper. Then I think you got to look at Tyreek Hill. And the crazy thing is T. Higgins. Don't sleep on T. Higgins. T. Higgins gets it done. And so, and then I think you find DK Metcalf for me and AJ Brown just outside the top 10. I think you probably could throw DK Metcalf at maybe 11 for me. In between there, maybe Tyler Lockett. And I'm really high on Chris Godwin. I just think the injuries hurt him this year, but his grade is very high as well. And then I think you find AJ Brown. So maybe they won't secure the bag as high as Stephon Diggs just based on their production numbers, but I think they're going to be pretty close to those numbers. And, when you look at it at the end of the day.
Yeah, and off YouTube, TMZ2 says if AJ Brown moved to a new team, his game would explode. So, I mean, that's always something to consider, too, is the quarterback.
Yeah, the quarterback throwing to you. Yeah, because Tannehill is very inconsistent. And Tannehill is very West Coast offensive style to me, where he just kind of maintains. He doesn't take a lot of chances. So I think you're right about that. I think if you threw like an AJ Brown out there with Green Bay or something like that, his numbers would show improve. I think you're right about that.
And I'm fascinated to see what Tyreek Hill looks like in Miami. I know they are maybe somewhat planning to use him like Deebo Samuel, like you said, and just kind of force feed him the ball, get your best player the ball. But is he going to drop off from Patrick Mahomes? I mean, who takes the bigger drop off, I suppose, is the big question there. Is it Tyreek that's making more Patrick Mahomes look good, or is it the other way around? And we've seen it over the years. A lot of times receivers switching quarterbacks, they're just aren't the same player. So that'll be fascinating to see. I think you're right, though. Justin Jefferson probably gets overlooked. He was by the way, the other part of that trade for Stephon Diggs. If you remember when Stephon Diggs was traded from the Vikings, it was to get a draft pick that wouldn't go on to be Justin Jefferson. So I know some people would say, man, the Vikings probably shaking their head because they got rid of Stephon Diggs, but I'm sure they feel pretty good about Justin Jefferson there too. Devonta Adams, like you said, it'll be fascinating to see what he does now in Vegas without Rodgers. I mean, that's
he's back with his guy though. He's back with his guy, Derek Carr. They were a combination back in college. So getting back sometimes with the guy that you're very familiar with and there's some understanding, but they've also got other weapons out there in Raider Nation. So it's not that. He's going to be the ire of everybody scheming probably, but at the end of the day, they have other weapons that they can go to, which is going to alleviate some of that pressure. I think even more, just look at what he did with Aaron Rodgers, and they didn't have near the weapons I think that the Raiders do. And that, I think it's possible that it can open up the door for them. It's definitely, I'm sure Derek Carr is excited about it, being that he's now going to have somebody who has a high catch rate, high target rate, that with percentage. And so I think that's going to bode well. I think also, man, Terry McLaurin has surprised a lot of people, right? He went from getting open at one of the highest rates in the NFL to hardly being able to get open, but he still maintains a high contested catch percentage. So I think that's phenomenal for him for what he's been able to do. His 25 contested catches led the NFL. And he has the fourth best catch rate in such plays like that. So he's got surefire hands. He has the third lowest drop rate of all receivers that are getting 100 targets. So I think that's pretty good, when you look at him. But he finds himself on a Washington team that's not very good, and the quarterback situation is all crazy. So, I mean, we got to see what also DeAndre Hopkins does when he comes back. Right now, he's out of the top 15, I think, for me. But if he comes back and has a phenomenal season that he's capable of having, he's getting a little older now, but we'll see how he returns. And so, there's still some good ones out there. But as you know, some of the big money guys, the Thompsons, with the Saints, a lot of injuries with him, and Evans down there with the Bucks. Some of those guys who used to be top tier guys are kind of falling down on the ladder for me. Some of these young guys are starting to move their way up and take control.
How about Tyler Lockett? That's a name that kind of people forget about once in a while. I mean, the Seahawks, obviously, moving on and restarting, and we talked about DK Metcalf. There is what they want to rebuild with him. Lockett's more of a veteran, but a huge, a big play threat. Him along with Russell Wilson, I think they had as a combination the most yards, from a quarterback and wide receiver combination since Lockett's been in the league. I think it gets slipped on a little bit too. I mean, that's a guy that finished top 10 in yards last year, despite only 73 receptions.
Yeah. I feel bad for Tyler. If he loses DK Metcalf, I'm going to feel bad for him.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to be asking for a trade because at this point, I don't want to be stuck in the quagmire of what's going to be happening up there in Seattle. But the crazy thing is, you hear Pete Carroll talking about, we're not getting rid of DK Metcalf. Stop it. He is one of the biggest look you in the face and tell you one thing. They probably said the same thing about Russell Wilson, and there you go.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson's gone, right? I think they're just trying to blow the situation up, but I really would feel bad for Tyler Lockett if he gets stuck in the doldrums of what Seattle's going to be for the next few years.
And it's kind of weird while we're on it that you wonder if they are going to blow it up that big, and if they already got rid of Russell Wilson, you think that's that's a sign. Will they keep Pete Carroll around? He's getting up there in age. Is he really wanting to go through a rebuild there? Also,
got rid of Bobby Wagner, which is a longtime centerpiece of what they were on their defense. They blew up the Legion of Boom. That's where I think their downfall started. But yeah.
And some people think that maybe his best coaching days are past him, and maybe he's getting out schemed.
Time to get some new blood.
Yeah. I'd be surprised to see him want to stick around for a rebuild. I don't know. I wonder how, I think that especially, college football would love to have him back, but I wonder how much attention he would get, from other coaches. Obviously, having been to a Super Bowl, having won a Super Bowl in Seattle, but the last couple of years not looking so hot.
Yeah, but what they're doing though is I think it's a down draft, especially at the quarterback position. There's really not anybody out there right now. So are they going to do a stopgap, secure a lot of, this year and next year and maybe a year after type of draft picks, and look to secure something in the years to come and just really start to build their foundation back up again with this next draft coming up, and then look to down the road to maybe secure a really good quarterback, maybe stopgap it for right now. They're really not still sure on that aspect of where they're going to go with their quarterback position. But it just seems to me is maybe they're kind of falling down the wayside, not really caring what's going to happen in the next year. And then boom, look to jump out and make something happen in the years to come. Great stuff, man. We'll take a break right now. We'll come back and we'll talk a little bit more, maybe still on the topic, but we'll find something good to kind of piecemeal out there. And we're feeling good here on the block. Thank you for joining us. We'll be right back after this break.
This is your High School Minute.
With your Southeast Community College High School Minute, I'm Harrison Arns. In boys soccer on Monday, Lincoln Pius X fell to Lincoln Southeast 3-1. Fremont's Leighton Jepson had 1 goal and 2 assists, and Braden Kramer had 2 goals. Lincoln Southwest shut out Fremont 4-0, and Waverly won over Norris 3-0. For the girls, Lincoln East dominated Grand Island 10-0. Lincoln Southwest shut out Fremont 6-0. They came out the gate strong, scoring 4 goals in the first half. And Norris beat Waverly 5-0. Kennedy Sullivan led the game with 2 goals. In baseball, Lincoln Northeast lost.
Where are we going?
Nolan Smith for Kearney went 3 for 4 at the plate with 4 RBIs. Cody Russ had a good game from the mound with 8 strikeouts for the Rockets. Lincoln Christian won over Maxwell, St. Pat's 9-0. Lincoln East just got
interesting.
Jalen Worthy had 11 strikeouts in the win. Ralston beat Lincoln by 10 7-4. This has been your High School Minute, sponsored by Southeast Community College, with locations in Lincoln, Beatrice, and Lincoln. Learn more today at southeast.edu.
Old School with DB and J.
I learned this about the difference between the college game and the NFL. Every play is designed offensively and defensively for one guy to make a mistake, whether it's being out of your gap, for getting a blitz, for getting a check on offense, for getting a snap count. In college, it might be explosive play, 15 yards, whatever you deem as explosive play.
I haven't seen much out there. I was searching too. I was really searching.
Hit his head on the goal.
This may be find a topic also and take some calls.
In every office, there's two types
You know what I
of
mean?
people. There are those who bring in
Just kinda
bagels,
throw
and
something
those
out
who
there
eat the bagels
and
that
just,
someone else brought in.
take some
Everybody
calls
likes the first person.
and just
Be
kind of parlay
that
and just
first
talk
person.
life,
Weekday mornings at 7:30,
experience
you
of
have a
me
chance to
and,
win
I
a
don't know,
business
shit
box of
about those
bagels from
times
Bagels
when
and Joe.
we struggle
All you
a
have
little
to
bit.
do is shut
We would
up,
love to
simple.
have,
2 questions
a
for
little
you,
bit of
2
that
for
extra
Skip.
money
Win,
that
and the
will come
bagels are
through.
yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Simple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels and Joe.
Join us this Friday at Barry's Bar and Grill from 3 to 8
Okay.
for a
Yeah,
game
I'll let you
hangout.
lead it.
Our regular
But,
shows go until 6
I'm
o'clock,
cool
and
with
then
that
we'll have
Big
a
East,
special 2-hour session
discussion
with
and
Nebraska football
conversation,
players
how that
on
would work,
location until 8.
being that the majority
Spring
of
game
those
preview
teams
and
are
hangout this
Midwest
Friday
over
at Barry's Bar and Grill.
or east of the
You know,
Mississippi.
The U.S. has added
You
over
know?
1,100 new breweries in the last
East of
18
the
months.
Missouri,
Learn
east
more
of
by
the
shopping
Missouri
at
and
Myers Cork and
Mississippi.
Bottle, 13th and South, and by tuning into Thirsty Thursdays with Kevin
all right.
Myers, because sports are better with a drink in your hand and a friend at your side.
This is Dan Friedman. Between 2010 and 2019, distracted driving caused more than 40,000 car crashes in Nebraska, resulting in over 14,000 severe injuries and deaths. Please keep your eyes on the road. If you have a smartphone, put it away while you're behind the wheel. It will help keep our community safe and secure. This message is brought to you by Friedman Law Offices, helping injured people. It's what we do. It's all we do. Find us at friedmanlaw.com today.
Hi, I'm Dr. Rob Rhodes, a Nebraska family practice physician. Are you or someone you love at risk of an opioid overdose? Get the free OP Rescue app for your phone. OP Rescue can guide you through the steps of how to respond to an opioid overdose. Be OP ready. Download OP Rescue today.
Paid for by the CDC. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services and aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Time to replace your heating and air? Get utility rebates and big discounts from Bryant. Call 467-1111 or go to BryantLincoln.com. Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat preparing exclusive Certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at mercado.com to see more details.
Hi, this is Kurt, your shop manager at A1 Automotive here in downtown Lincoln. My promise to you is this: you won't find another automotive repair facility that genuinely cares about you and your vehicle. Our service is outstanding and our customer service is better. Please give me a call for all your automotive repair questions and needs. Call me at 402-477-4660. We were built on small town values that shows how we treat others. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Bach on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Is this a goal?
Sorry, I have a little bit of problem. Hopefully, can you hear me, Strick? I cannot hear myself. I'm sure it's just a problem with the microphone.
Yeah, I hear you. Thanks, Brian, for letting us know that we're hot. And good thing we didn't do something crazy, say something crazy, act on something crazy while we were hot. So thank you for letting us know that there on the YouTube stream. Great stuff going on the YouTube stream. I think TMZ2 said some things, Bach, that I kind of have a feeling about, being that this is a 6-year. Well, I think it makes it 4-year extension, 6 years because he has 2 left. Stephon Diggs, he says, slipped last season, and I predict a big fall off this year. I don't know if it'll be this year, but I do think that there's probably going to be some form of a fall off. And the thing is, when you're $70 million guaranteed, you gotta be like the Lakers when that type of thing happens. You're stuck with a Russell Westbrook. You gotta take that. So that's going to be something that's going to be an issue. But yeah, I mean, when you look at just a lot of the stuff that was going on, I love some of the stories. I just love some of the stories on how I'm big on that because I was one of those guys, one of those guys that you fall through the cracks. Even the story, like, for example, Dwayne Wade, I think that's a tremendous story where a kid out of Chicago gets overlooked, finds his way out in Marquette, makes big noise in the tournament, finds his way into the NBA, chip on his shoulder, and he goes out and becomes a Hall of Famer. I love those stories. And I think guys like Deebo Samuels, who, for his size was overlooked, now he's an integral part on the success of them getting where they got. I mean, if it wasn't for Deebo Samuels in some of those games and some of the plays he made where he was stopped 3 yards short, he ends up getting it. I mean, you're seeing just guys like that just take off, man. And I think I'm impressed by some of the stories, some of the guys, like the Stephon Diggs story, and just all of these stories, even the quarterback stories. For example, the Kurt Warner story for me is a phenomenal one. Somebody that was just totally didn't have the athleticism, goes up and plays in all these other, sidebar leagues, and he makes his way back and elevates and wins a couple championships. I think those are great stories, man.
Did you watch the Kurt Warner movie yet?
I haven't seen the movie yet, and I do want to take a look at it. Yeah, I definitely want to take a look.
Nate's giving a thumbs up from over there in the studio. I don't know. It's always fun, especially as a football fan, to look at how they do the on-field shots. And I think, at least from the previews, I thought, I don't know. It's got to be believable to me. So we'll see, though. But I did, it's not. It's also another thing where it's kind of weird, like. I was around and fully plugged in for the Kurt Warner story. It's kind of, I kind of, maybe I'm just hitting that age, but I like the movies where you're not around for, right? Or maybe it's just maybe they didn't go back far enough for some of the things that they draw inspiration from. Kind of different things happen. Like we said, the prime or the Showtime Lakers. That one seems to be a pretty good one over there on HBO. And some of us, that's a little. I guess I'm a little young for that. For others, they wouldn't be falling into that category. But I feel like from the previews, I wasn't too interested in the Kurt Warner one. But I think part of it's just because I know the story. If I didn't know the story, then maybe I'd be a little bit more interested. But it is altogether a great story. I wanted to ask you this too, because there's these are small rumors. I don't want to make it sound like this is a done deal or anything. But there's been talk of maybe Gonzaga, and of course they were the number 1 overall seed coming into the last tournament. They've been in the championship game 2 of the last 5 years, I believe now it is. And they're just not going to get any respect for their conference that they plan. So there's been talk about them exploring, and maybe what makes sense for them is the Big East. Now, that doesn't make any sense geographically, but that's been the early reports. It's, kind of the basketball-only league. You have the Power 5, and the Big East is out there, and they've expanded out from the East Coast, obviously Creighton within the last couple of years, but Gonzaga, now that's the complete opposite coast. That is the West Coast. Do you think Gonzaga could fit in the Big East?
I think it's a great fit for them. I look at it from the standpoint they're way up in Washington, and the travel budgets. They make a lot of money by getting in, doing what they do. The travel budget for those schools is going to be significant and phenomenal, right? Because you're looking at everything east of the Missouri and Mississippi. You're looking at Butler, Creighton, DePaul. One of my good friends coaching up there. Shout out to Tony Stubblefield. Hopefully he can get that program turned around. Oh, my boy. I feel bad for my boy Pat Ewing. Yeah, it looked real ugly. I thought Nebraska was looking ugly, but good Lord, Georgetown 0-19 in conference. And but listen, he's a Stapleton there. Marquette, then you got Providence, obviously Seton Hall. Then you get all the way up in the Northeast with UConn, Villanova, Xavier there as well, and St. John's. So that's a crazy schedule that they would have to maintain travel-wise. But I think team-wise, it's a good fit. I think it's a good fit for what they will. Because I couldn't see them just being a basketball only or a team who would find themselves joining the Pac-12. I just couldn't see Gonzaga joining the Pac-12. It just didn't seem like it would make sense to me. So there's really nothing out there. Everything out there, WAC and the Western Athletic and a lot of those conferences just aren't very strong. So they would just do the same thing. It would just be a lateral movement for them. I think this would be a tremendous upward movement if they did jump into the Big East.
Yeah, and you wonder too.
And listen, last thing, I would love every year to see Few and Jay Wright go at it.
Oh yeah,
that would be even Mac getting after it. I mean, I think it would create some great coaching rivalries that would be good in the conference too.
Yeah, and you wonder if they could do that. Notre Dame does that where they're basket. They only have certain conference affiliations in different sports, like men's basketball. Because when I'm thinking of it, it's like, all right, well, it's a small team. Yeah, the flights might be expensive and it might pile up that, but it's not like you're traveling with a football team. You think the expenses would get a little higher. But if you start to, if they had to, I'm sure they have a larger athletic department. I don't know if you want to take your lacrosse team across country and pay for all that. So maybe they would just do a basketball only. I'm not really sure. And they probably don't have lacrosse. I just threw a sport out there. But, all those other, the non-money making sports, it might be hard to do that. So maybe it's just for basketball. I think that would be incredible. And it really would raise the Big East profile. And the Big East already has a pretty good profile, like you said, with Villanova. A lot of traditional, really good teams. UConn's back in the Big East now. And for what it's worth, Gonzaga is on the east side of their state, Washington, there instead of on the actual coast. But that won't help too much. But in any case, I think
a few hundred miles. That's a lot.
Yeah, well, there's something for him. But I think basketball wise, it makes a lot of sense. But
I think it'll help for their recruiting too. I mean, they already have a national recruiting profile, but I think they would also be able to. I mean, they actually could make them pretty much stronger. I mean, say what you will. One of the things about Gonzaga is, to me, this is my personal opinion, I think the types they recruit for character, they recruit for style of play. So to me, they don't necessarily get those top perennial type of super athletes. And I think Villanova recruits the same way. I think pretty much a lot of people in that Big East Conference, to include Creighton, they all recruit for their style of play, their, the way that they want to play the game. And I think that's why it's another good fit for them. But I think Gonzaga would position them to be able to get also a different type of athlete that would be able to come out there. And we talked about that before here on the block, where a lot of the players that come out of Gonzaga are just kind of players that are solid or, good role players on an NBA team, or they don't really find their way and they just kind of make their way out. Now, there's another thing I want to throw out there. OKC is really doing something right. I like what they got going on. I'm looking at Roby and I'm saying, yeah, Roby, let's go, baby. I just wanted to throw that out there because we were talking about those types of players. And Roby's like that kind of player I thought just kind of fits in that same mode. And he's starting to fill in as a nice piece for the OKC Thunder. So anyway, I'm off that.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to see what he can do this year. By the way, just looking at his numbers here, he's close to 10 a game, 9.7, 4.9 rebounds, plays about 21 minutes a game. That's about what his career record or average is. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with Isaiah Roby in the future. And obviously, very excited. Should look up Delano Banton's numbers too, as his season's winding down, his rookie season, and then next year you should have Bryce McGowan's in there. As we'll see where he's going to get picked, but obviously he's off to the NBA. For what it's worth, Banton averages about 11 minutes a game, close to 3.2 points, 1.9 rebounds, and 1.5 assists. But it's nice to have some representation in the NBA again.
Yeah, and the thing about Banton is this is what I feel. One of those type of players that once the scouting report catches up with him, he hasn't expanded his game yet. There's still those are some of the things I talked about. Do not leave. You're not. Yes, your uniqueness in your size and your skill set will enable you to pop in, but the longevity of it, you're going to have to expand the consistency of your shooting, your decision making, all of those things. He could have probably honed in a little bit better. No, listen, 10 minutes a game. I mean, that's not a lot, but you're getting some time. But they've given him some time to be able to show and prove. And I would hate that hopefully he doesn't fall off, because you got to remember, every year there are 2 rounds of players that are coming in. There's always somebody coming in, and then that's internationally too. So how long can you sustain that? That's going to be the key component for him. And that's what I'm talking about with Bryce too. I mean, you know, listen, a lot of those NCAA players, you got to think about it. What is Abaji's going to do? Same as Bryce. What is like McCutcheon? I mean, the kid out of Arkansas going to do? You know, what are some of the kids out there in Houston going to do? And who have similar, who actually showed improve when it was time to show improve. And so there's a lot of those types of players out there, man. And do you want to throw your head in the hat? I mean, your name in the hat when it's a lot of players out there. What's Love gonna do? You know what I mean? So those some things that are kind of making me a little leery about Bryce's projections.
Yeah, and his decision to go to the pros. We'll see. Last time I've seen, I mean, again, it's been pretty much the same throughout the year. It's, anywhere from 20 to into the second, 20th pick to into the second round. Hopefully
he will get drafted. So let's be clear about that. He will get drafted. I personally, and you heard it here on the block, I'm thinking he's going to be 35 to 42. You heard it on the block. Mark
right there. That's where it, and maybe we could put some bets down on that. I'm at least hoping he gets picked a little bit higher. Obviously, with Benton and Roby, successful second round picks, but it's been a while since Nebraska's had a first one. In fact, I think it's Teron Lou probably was the last first round pick for Nebraska.
If Bryce goes nuts in his workout, but see, that's the thing. Young people, not seasoned people, because they kind of, as you grow and mature, you get a little bit of understanding. But young minds that are trying to pop in and jump, they don't understand what those workouts are. They think it's just like your traditional workout, unless you've got a really good agent or you've got great representation, because all your friends and all your homies and all your neighbors, they're going to be saying, yeah, Bryce, it's on, baby. Go ahead. Yeah, you the man. You the Don. You going to make it. But I'm telling you, those workouts are crazy. And when you're talking about you got 6-7 teams and you're on the plane, you're getting a great feel. And I mean, you could be in Memphis one day, then the next day you got to go out and be in out there in Milwaukee, and then the next day, or maybe a day off, you're flying out to LA. And then, hey, listen, them workouts are intense. They put you through rigor. So don't think it's just going to be, you're going to be able to, mosey, coast, get into your stuff, your little rhythm bag. Now, they're going to be running you off of stuff. So that, unless somebody's telling him the real about how it feels and how it looks, hopefully his representation is somebody who's very familiar with that, and they're helping him with that, and he comes in shape, because, it's going to be like that.
Well, and I remember too, like, it's not just, he's probably heard a good thing or two, from certain people or certain franchises or whatever. But, it just kind of reminds me of the conversation we had with Mo Williams, where he said he was basically told by 17 teams. I can't remember the number he threw out there, but it was a lot.
And none of them was the one that picked him
in the first round. And nobody picked him in the first round. He fell all the way to the second, and then a different team.
Team than he even worked out for. Right.
Yeah. So those workouts are all strange. And, at least for Mo's case, he was able to prove him wrong with his career. Hopefully Bryce, if he does get passed over, is able to do the same. He's got a lot of athleticism. Obviously, we're all cheering for him. But it might, as usual with any, I guess, career, you might take some lumps before you get to your top goal there. Let's take a quick break here one final time before we get into our final segment, our daily segment geared toward the NBA. I know we jumped in a little bit, but that was like NBA Huskers, so that doesn't quite count. Yeah, we're getting into the NBA because he's strict there, has his NBA shirt on. It's time for Hitting the Hardwood. Let's talk about the Bulls. They've been a good team this year, falling down in the standings over the last couple of weeks, though, and now Lonzo Ball's out. He's not going to be able to play in the playoffs. Are the Bulls for real? Can we expect them to make a push? Also, the Lakers are out of contention, so we celebrate next here on the block on 93.7 The Ticket.
John Henry's Plumbing, heating it.
When it comes to your home or business, we know you have options, and that's why John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning gives you just that. Options. We have plumbing, heating, and cooling memberships to serve all of your residential and commercial needs. We want to ensure you, your family, and your business are safe. Visit our website, jhlincoln.com, to find out more or call us at
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
Join us on Saturday for our spring game tailgate show at Tipsy Tina's in the Haymarket. We'll be there from 10:30 to 1 as we preview the day ahead. It's the Spring Game Tailgate Show, sponsored by Members Owned Credit Union, A1 Automotive, and EP Foundation Repair from Tipsy Tina's at 8th and Q.
You can search online for hours to find the best electricians in Lincoln and the surrounding area, but I'll save you time. High Electric has been serving their customers for 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They're experts in everything electrical, from remodeling to new additions, hot tub installations, electric vehicle chargers or EV chargers, lighting, ceiling fans, and more. High Electric takes jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606 or learn more at highelectric.com.
Did you know that the U.S. has added over 1,100 new breweries in the last 18 months? Learn more by shopping at Myers Cork and Bottle, 13th and South, and by tuning into Thirsty Thursdays with Kevin Myers, because sports are better with a drink in your hand and a friend at your side.
Hi, I'm Dr. Rob Rhodes, a Nebraska family practice physician. Are you or someone you love at risk of an opioid overdose? Get the free Opie Rescue app for your phone. Opie Rescue can guide you through the steps of how to respond to an opioid overdose. Be Opie ready. Download Opie Rescue today.
Paid for by the CDC. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services and aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Spring is here. Are you giving your yard the best chance at being healthy and green? Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn to get your sprinklers ready to go for the season if they haven't been working properly. They're also scheduling installs for new sprinkler systems if you don't have one, so make sure you contact them early to get a bid as soon as possible. Plus, they're your one place to go for 5-step fertilizer and pesticide application and lawn aeration. Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn today at 402-413-1215.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
If you're struggling to get motivated to work out, you're not alone, and Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping is here to help. Build muscle, burn fat, and lose weight with Farrell's 10-week challenge starting April 9th, all for a chance to win $1,000. Farrell's combines kickboxing with inclusive strength training and nutrition planning to help you stay on track. Go to fxblincoln.com to sign up today. It's the Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping 10-week challenge starting April 9th with 2 locations in Lincoln.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank, a relationship you can count on.
Windy conditions anticipated here for our Wednesday. We'll top out near 55. A wind advisory in effect as northwest winds could gust near 50 miles per hour. 36 the low tonight. 49 the high tomorrow. Still windy and even a chance of rain mixing with snow during the day. That's a check of your forecast. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Bach on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back here on the block for our daily segment, Hitting the Hardwood, geared toward the NBA. And today we'll talk a little Chicago Bulls basketball. Not all good news for the Bulls. Now, the good news is they did make the playoffs. They've officially are in the playoffs. They're locked in at that 6th seed, I believe. Well, they could still make way with Toronto, I believe, at that 5 seed still. So they could get up there. But either way, the first clinched playoffs since a man named Fred Hoiberg was coach of that team back in 2017. Dwayne Wade, Jimmy Butler, Rondo, those guys. And that team almost had the upset in the first round over the Celtics. They had a 2-0 lead before Rondo got hurt. So you wonder how the just how things would have changed since then if they were able to get that victory. Who knows? Maybe Fred wouldn't be in Nebraska. Who knows with that stuff? But in any case, the Bulls have been good this year. However, they are struggling of late. They've lost 13 of their last 19 games, 45-34 entering tonight's game against Boston. And Boston still has a little bit to play for too, as they're fighting for that anywhere between that 1st and 4th seed. So don't expect them to let up. The problem for the Bulls,
they don't want that. They don't want that smoke, Bach.
Is they've been out without one of their best players in Lonzo Ball. However, they're expecting to get him back for the playoff push. Without him, do you give the Bulls much of a chance, or do you think this is just a nice story, a cool team, but probably not ready to compete for at least get to the Eastern Conference Championship?
Well, one of the things that I saw is that, obviously they played last night against the Bucks. The Bucks are hot. I mean, winning their 4th, conference title, which is phenomenal for a small market team like them. Kind of went up and down early, and they just caught stride. And the balance of what they have is it's working around the two combo. With Giannis is phenomenal in what they do. And so they had a chance last night against a really tough Bucks team. And I think it's a good test for them, but they got rolled over 127-106. And so that was a tough one for me. But, losing Lonzo Ball, there are some great numbers that come out for Lonzo Ball. And that's the club is a net 3.1 plus 3.1 and a defensive rating of 107 with Ball on the floor. And they're a negative 1.6 and a 115 without him. So it goes to show you what he does and the impact he has. And that was their strength, is why they were in the top 3 earlier in the season before they lost him and they lost Caruso. They were a very strong defensive team. The mid-range of DeMar DeRozan, and then using all of those other points, Levine was tremendous as well. And so they had a great combination of players. Ball averaging 13 points, 5 rebounds. That's phenomenal from the guard position, and 5 assists per game, but also almost 2 steals while shooting 42% from the 3 and his solid defense. So you're looking at Alex Caruso, DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, and Vucevic as kind of their core players. Not much depth there, some defensive guys to come in and help out, but there's not a lot of scoring, and to expect them to be able to get that done in a tough Eastern Conference is something that I think is a high mountain to try to climb.
Yeah, and I mean, I think they still got. It's just the depth piece, right? Because I think Kobe White can kind of fill in, probably not be as effective. Lonzo really was kind of the glue for that thing to get going, and they had a great early season run. They were able to fight off some losses for about a month there without him, but eventually it kind of caught up to him, and they've been struggling as of late. I also like Ayo Dosunmu, the rookie out of Illinois. He can help play. So I think they've got some guys they can throw out there. They were just, this is their first year with this group together, so it felt like a thin line of error, and losing one of your best players out of the gate before the playoffs is probably going to do it for them. But we'll still see. I'm excited to see the Bulls in the playoffs. Again, I say this about every sport. I'll say it again. I love when the powers are good, and when Chicago basketball is in the playoffs, it just helps the NBA feel a little bit more like something that obviously from the 90s and the 80s and all that stuff, the Michael Jordan teams, the feeling of having those banners up there, playoff games in the United Center, even the Derrick Rose teams as of late. I just feel like the NBA is better when the Bulls are good. So
I think I one thing I want to say before we leave, I think Magic Johnson spilled the major tea as to LeBron James's fate, in that DeMar DeRozan was basically talking with Magic, "Yo, baby, I'm trying to come home. What's up? Let's get it done." They could have got it done so much more cheaper, and could have had a mid-range assassin in DeMar DeRozan, and things could have been maybe looked a little bit different if they maybe had DeMar DeRozan there.
There are theories out there that maybe Magic didn't do that accidentally. Maybe this was he's one of the most beloved players or former players anywhere, but certainly in Hollywood, they absolutely adore Magic. Do you think that maybe he purposely floated that out there to get the Lakers brass to start kind of thinking, maybe we shouldn't let LeBron run this team, or maybe we should look at ending this era and maybe starting anew?
Very possible. Very possible. I think you've got to try to figure out what to do because they don't have many options. They don't have many assets. They're a very old team, not much to go on. They're about to lose their coach. They're trying to figure out who's going to come in and lead that squad. And right now, LeBron's doing what LeBron do, and that's blow your team up and then and then try to figure it out down the road. There's not much to figure out right now. I think you're probably stuck with Westbrook unless somebody is dummy to take that deal. But there's some dummies out there, so we'll see.
Yeah, you never know. I don't think Westbrook's at the point. Even like the only thing that I could think of is maybe a small market team would pick him up for ticket sales, but I don't think he's at that point in his career either.
Or you're looking at the salary. You take it. You know you're not very good. You know you're going to create that kind of a salary cap, and then maybe you make the Lakers throw in whatever assets they have left, which is none. So really, you're just looking at the salary.
That'll wrap it up for On the Block. We'll be back tomorrow. Ticket Weeknights is next. Have a great weeknight.
This is your High School Minute.